Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the All Portable Discussion Zone. It's a bi-weekly live stream all about amateur radio portable ops. My name is Charlie. Call sign is November Juliet 7 Victor. And with me this evening is one of the two co-hosts for the show, Dan, KC7MSU. And Brian is probably going to join us late, if at all. He's at the Arizona Cardinals game, so we'll excuse him. And I'm pleased to introduce to you tonight's guests. We have Jesse, VE6JTW. We have Shane, KD9NJJ. And then there's Mike, AC0PR.
Hey, everyone.
And there's Tim, N7KOM.
Howdy.
And as always, we have the regulars in the chat room, keeping us in line, asking questions, throwing fruit, telling jokes, whatever. So if you have a question or a comment, go ahead and put that in the chat feed, and we'll try to reply to you. If you have a comment, some of them I'll be popping up on the ticker or whatever it is there. So let's go ahead and get started here. First, let's go ahead and talk about what's been going on in our lives over the last week or two. Just kind of get a little flavor for what's going on. And let's start with Dan, Lucky Dan. You're muted, I think.
There we go. All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's see. Last couple of weeks have been pretty fun for me. Let's see. Last weekend we did the Arizona Summit Madness event, which was a whole lot of fun. I was able to get up to Lake Mountain. Really enjoyed the hike and ride up to the top there. Didn't make a lot of contacts, but the weather was really great. It looked like it might be a lot wetter than it actually turned out to be up in that area. So really enjoyed that. And yesterday was the Arizona QSO party. So I got to participate in that and with our club, and we did pretty well. So really happy with the results.
You're muted, Charlie.
So thank you. So for me, I kind of did the same thing. I was participated in the Summit to Summit 10-Point Madness event with my wife. She did the sideband and I did CW, and we did pretty good up there. There was at the same time was the California QSO party and the Appalachian Trail event. I'm not quite sure the official name of it, but it was pretty fun working all those people, and it was a lot of people on the air. It was really busy, but a lot of fun. And then, just Friday, I drove back up to the White Mountains area and did a couple more peaks that I'd been wanting to do. First time activation for me. So I got to complete on those. I chased them both. So that was pretty fun. All right, Tim, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I did a fun weekend with Bill K7WXW. 3 summits up in the Cascades north of Whiskey 7 Oscar. So we started with Lookout Mountain, and Bill was able to make it up a little earlier than me, and he joined me hiking back up to that summit once I arrived, but didn't bring a rig. And then we drove on some pretty gnarly forest roads on Saturday morning after camping out, and activated 2 more mountains. So for me, it was the outing across the 3 summits was 46 QSOs. 38 of those were CW, and as a new Morse code op, that was kind of a big outing for me. And I mean, by the end of our final summit, my brain was just cooked.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. That's awesome, though. Good, you're a CW guy now, aren't you? You're proud. I'm sure you're proud.
Trying to be, and huge thank you to the patient chasers.
Yeah, cool. All right, Mike, you're up next.
Great. Well, the last couple of weeks I've been heading out to a few summits that I haven't ever done before that haven't been activated for SOTA. And then I also wanted to try out some new gear while I was doing that. So a couple of homebrew things and a radio from a kit here and there and a new paddle, different things like that. So it's been a great combination of going to a new area and trying out some new stuff. So it's been great.
Cool. Yeah, you're always messing around with stuff, aren't you? That's awesome. All right, Shane, what have you been up to? Other than being on Dennis's 86DM's podcast show.
Yeah, I was privileged to be a guest on Handum Thoughts. That was a lot of fun, unexpected. I've been enjoying the fall weather here in Wisconsin. The leaves are turning, the air is getting crisp, it's getting cool. Doing parks on the air and some summits on the air. Yesterday, I ventured up to the UP of Michigan and I activated Copper Peak, which is kind of a small summit, but it's a pretty cool one because it has a very big ski jump on it. So I got that video edited today and it'll be going out sometime this week. So that's about it for me.
Cool. That's awesome. All right, Jesse, now it's your turn.
Last week I had done two summit activations and both CW. First time doing CW. So
Wow.
like Tim said,
Congratulations.
to the chasers, they're patient. Thank you, because yeah, my brain's cooked even after just a couple contacts. It's crazy. Actually, I had a summit to summit today with another guy out in Quebec on the other side of the country, so that was pretty neat. But besides that, yeah, it's summits on the air when I can get out, and lots of time at work, unfortunately. But yeah, that's about it for me. Just soda and work.
Cool. So for you viewers, if you haven't got the gist of this, everybody in this chat today, or not in this chat, in this stream today, shares content for their Summits on the Air activations. A few of us, including me, will do some Parks on the Air activations too. I think you do some, right, Shane? Some Parks on the Air?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not sure about the other guys, but this is probably very soda centric tonight. Everybody shares content on this. Even Dan has some things he's shared in the past, so it'll be a good conversation. So I invited these gentlemen on because there's a lot of ham radio YouTube channels out there. A lot of them are very not as niched down as ours are. I mean, I think all of us here in this room, in this chat, or in this stream are focused primarily on sharing content that's portable ops content. We do some other stuff. I've seen some, like a key review from Mike, and just there's other things that we do. We like to share, but for the most part, we'd like to share our soda experiences. And we are. I mean, there's several other YouTube channels out there that do this as well, but there aren't many. That's for sure. And most of the channels are broader in scope. So I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys on and to talk about it a little bit. And with the exception of Mike, Tim, Shane, and Jesse are all relatively new YouTubers. So that's something, it'll be a good perspective. But me and Mike have been around a while. Actually, Mike has been around much longer than I have. And I don't know if viewers or Mike knows this, but between him and KG7HQD, they were the two people who inspired me to start doing YouTube. So thank you, Mike, and thank you, Jerry, for your efforts in sharing your content and inspiring me. So let's go ahead and take a look at or listen, I guess, to your channels. Let's go around and get everybody an opportunity to just kind of talk about your channel, what your plans are for your channel, what your niche is, so to speak, what you'd like to do. Just maybe invite viewers to take a look at your channel and what you have to offer. I'm going to go ahead and start this time with Shane in the upper right corner, and the way I see it. And so go ahead, Shane. What do you have?
All right. Well, my channel is called Scout75, and as Charlie alluded to, I primarily do portable operations. I live up in northern Wisconsin, and I'm really into soda. And if you ever looked at a map, you know that the upper Midwest is not soda central. So, I do the best I can with what I have to work with. We have we have a few summits in the state of Wisconsin, and the highest summit is a 6-pointer, and it's called Tim's Hill. So even our biggest summit is called a hill. So no backbreaking hikes, no epic views, but it's still playing radio outside and it's fun. Fortunately, to counter that, I have a lot of state parks and wildlife areas, so I do a lot of POTA as well. So I get that variety. I started the channel. I often say I started the channel by accident. I've been into ham radio for a little while, and a few friends and a few local groups, 2 gun clubs and an outdoorsman's club, they wanted me to do a presentation on ham radio since I was one of the few around here that did it. So I put together a little slide presentation, and I went to their club meetings and I went over it. And every time it's asked me, can you come back? Because Bill wasn't here and he'd like to see it. So I decided to just do a really cheesy PowerPoint voiceover. And then I put it on this YouTube channel and I just gave him the link and said, here, just go here whenever anyone else wants to see it. And I did some very general how-tos for different things, ideas for getting licenses, so on and so forth. But each time I did one of those, I'd get talking about portable ops because that's what all those guys were into, because they're backpackers and campers and hunters and preppers and that type. And I started showing them other people's videos of doing summits on the air, parks on the air. And I'd always get the response, well, there's nothing like that around here. So I decided to start recording my stuff. And so I can go, here is me. I'm actually doing it right in our backyard. You can do it too. So I kind of just did it as a motivational thing. In fact, the majority of my videos are still set to private. And then actually Charlie was the first person to subscribe to my channel, and that kind of put the pressure on me to take this a little bit more serious. So I've been just having a blast the last couple of months. I don't really do anything on a schedule or anything, and I don't bring the cameras with every time, but sometimes I'll set up the camera and record it. And if I have fun and I think it looks neat, I'll throw it together and put it on YouTube and not really worry about the algorithms or anything. I just put the content that I really enjoy watching and see if anyone else does too.
Yeah, cool. That seems to work. That's awesome. Yeah, you have a great channel. I'm glad I was one of the first, or I guess the first to subscribe.
Yeah.
I thought you had some good videos right from the start. So cool. All right, I'm going to go counterclockwise. Jesse, tell us about your channel.
Yeah, so my channel is Canadian Rockies Radio Adventure. Confuses a lot of people because of the CDN, but it's just short for Canadian. Yeah, I started doing the videos more so I felt weird talking to myself out in the bush because we have grizzlies and black bears and cougars all over the place. So I was like, you know what? I'll just record myself, and then I can show my dad and put it on YouTube so he can find it. And yeah, I just kind of went from there. And then I showed the wife, and she's like, well, you should maybe start doing that. Okay. And then we had we had a live stream with the Soda Association here with you. I got chatting with you a little bit, and then yeah, just kind of downhill from there. And yeah, now I don't even know how many videos I've got up now, and I got another one in the works after today. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and literally just doing it for fun. I'm not doing it for any other reasons. It's just a good time now, and
Cool.
to show my dad.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. All right, Mike, tell us about your channel.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate that. My channel is MKC0PR, and I started it's been about 5.5 years now, I guess, since it was basically since my first soda activation. And I'm pretty specific. My niche is very specific. It's basically soda, but concentrated on CW, and I often kind of gear that towards the more beginning CW operators. Putting up, most of them have, the translation of what the CW is so that people can follow along who don't know it. And I just like to show the beautiful nature that I enjoy while I'm out before I show some CW stuff, but just about all of them, that's what it concentrates on, is some CW. And I myself was inspired by watching a few videos before I did my first activation. And back then I was watching Steve Whiskey Golf 0AT, Whiskey Goat, and loved what he was doing and thought, I just need to record and share that with other people as well. So that's kind of my channel.
Yeah, cool. And I will add, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but I will add that oftentimes your activations are first timers, like Virgin Peaks, right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do. I have 81 of those so far, and some of them are really challenging, and I never plan on going back. But some are wonderful and beautiful, and they're all a new, neat experience. That's really something that I really enjoy about doing it.
Yeah, cool. And I'll mention Steve Goat. He's agreed to come back on the show. We're still working out the specifics, but I'm bringing him back on in the next month or so, and we're going to talk about pre-soda mountaintop portable, because he'd been doing mountaintop portable operations well before soda was even a twinkle in the eye. And so we're going to have him on to talk about some of those stories and what that was like coming up
Awesome.
here in a few months. So, all right, Tim, take it away.
Yeah, okay. So my channel is Upsection N7KOM. I'm formerly a geologist, so I would hike Upsection in the rock record, and that's where that comes from. But I'd say my channel is best known probably for its for my winter activations, skiing and climbing on steep snow, and then bringing my radio with me and doing some soda activations. And yeah, it's really kind of showing off the volcanoes and the beautiful scenery of the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, I don't know if now's a good time to thank you, Charlie, but
Sure.
yeah. So the reason I make these videos is kind of when I got my technician's license, I had a Baofeng and I checked into a couple local nets and didn't really know if I was going to continue with the hobby other than just having the radio in my emergency kit. And then on QRZ, I saw one of Charlie's videos. It had an irreverent title, something like "How I Rack Up Soda Points While You're Sleeping" or something like that. I said, "Hey, what's that?" and clicked it, and then all of a sudden, this world opened up. Oh, I'm already out in the outdoors doing hikes and climbs and skiing, and now I can bring my radio along. So really a big thank you to you, Charlie, for expanding the hobby or the possibilities of the hobby. There's so many sub hobbies of ham radio.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I'm learning Morse code now. I would have never even considered that had I not gotten into Summits on the Air. So the one thing I hope, if someone sees my video and they're inspired, to take their radio outside with them.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'd have to say that obviously I'm flattered that you would say that, but I also would recognize that there are many others who have inspired all of us and who are inspiring others. So it's kind of a big deal to get your content out there and help other people see the possibilities. Thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and get going here on this topic then. I wanted to talk to y'all tonight about why should we share our content with others? And Dan, you were reading some stuff, and I think I was reading it too recently. It was coincidental, nothing but coincidental. I mean, we'd already decided on our topic, but this kind of came up, didn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I was pretty amazed that there was several comments on Twitter and a few posts on the internet about content and, is it too much? Is it quality? Or what should we share and things like that, and how does it influence new hams and things like that. So it's a pretty timely topic, so it seems to be out there for everybody to kind of want to know more.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask each of you. I mean, you just jump in. I'm not going to go round robin or whatever. We'll just kind of make it a discussion, unless it gets too unruly. So the question is, why share content? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Hopefully it brings more people into like Summits on the Air and POTA.
Okay.
Having more chasers would always be nice. I mean, we have lots already, but
right.
It's always nice to have more new call signs.
Yes, for sure. I agree with that. It is. Yeah, that's one of the things I have down is to promote the hobby generally, but also to promote portable operations. Definitely, that's one of them. Any other thoughts on why we should do this?
Yeah, I guess maybe I jumped the gun there, inspiring more people to take their radios outside. But also, the places we're at are so beautiful. They're just really nice to be out. I feel like it's good to share that, not just with the people watching the videos, but potentially the chasers that were on the other side of the QSO.
Yeah.
And give them an opportunity to see that and see where we were, other than sometimes there's a photo or whatever, but it's fun to give the whole experience.
It's interesting you say that, because I'm thinking about that now, and I realized that when I was watching Mike's videos early on, before I was doing my channel. That was one of the things that kept me coming back to his channel was, ooh, I worked him. Let me see if he put my call sign up. Am I in the credits or not? So you're right. It's fun as well. Anything else? I have a list. I have 3 or 4 things here listed. Any other thoughts on why we should share content?
For me, it's just kind of a way of giving back. I guess that's why I put so much emphasis on the CW. I just enjoy it so much, and anything that will help someone get started in that, because for a lot of people, CW is kind of a scary thing or something they don't want to jump into, and so after there's been several times where I've just thought, well, I've done enough. All my videos are looking kind of formulaic and the same, and maybe I'll just stop, and then I'll get another comment saying, "Hey, that was awesome. I have my first CW contact, and thanks for the help and the inspiration," and that makes it all worth it and keeping going. So,
yeah, I agree with that a little bit, because I came to that point too where I'm like, oh, it's just another peak. I'm just activating again, boring, same old thing over and over again. But people like seeing new places, and that's one of the things that I say is a good reason why you should share your content. Is it gives a unique perspective of where you're at, your environment, the nature that's around you. It varies quite a bit. I mean, Mike, your stuff is desert, high desert, right?
yeah. So I'm in southern Utah, so I get some Utah mountains up a little bit north, and then desert a little bit south. It's a nice spot for me. I love it.
Right. Yeah. And then there's Jesse, who has the Colorado or the Canadian Rockies, right?
I wish it was Colorado.
Right. And then Shane in the Midwest up in Wisconsin. He's more of a flatlander, right?
Yeah,
New
I got
stuff, but
pretty much nothing, but it's still fun,
yeah.
And like I alluded to earlier, there's a lot of people, and you see it on different activation videos where people say, "Oh, I'd love to try soda, or I'd like to try parks, but the nearest park's an hour away, or the nearest summit's an hour away." So what? Just go out there and do it. And if you have as much as fun as I do, that drive is just part of the deal. And like I said on Dennis's podcast, if driving is too far and you got a city park down the street, just sit up there and chase the summit activators and chase the park activators. You still get the points. You still play portable radio. You still have fun. There's really no excuse not to get outside and have fun.
Taking the long drives actually makes it worth it. It's me and Malin did a trip out to Saskatchewan. It was something like 14 or 1500 kilometers for a day, and after we had it all activated, it was a good feeling doing all that traveling just to do that.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun. That anybody want to take this comment here? I think it's a question.
I haven't done the videos before. It's nerve-wracking. It really is, but it's worth it once you start getting comments and likes. It's
yeah,
cool.
Or if you're talking to operating, I know a lot of people, they fear the pileup, which is very common. I feared it a long time, but one good way to go out is just go out and hunt. You don't need to have the apps or anything. You just sit there and spin the dial, and if you hear someone calling parks on the air, just listen to their cadence, how they handle the pileup, because you pick up a thing or two from that, and then just jump in and throw in your call. They want to make a contact with you, so they're going to be patient with you if you're a little nervous. And the same thing when you start doing your first pileup, we start calling Kisu, you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to freak out, most likely. I still do. But the thing to remember is most of those people have been on a pileup with somebody that wasn't experienced, so they're patient. They're in it for the points too. And they also want you to win. I mean, everybody's in this to help each other. So they're going to be patient with you. And your deck control. You just tell everybody slow down, relax, and take your time. Nobody's going to jump down your throat. And if there's the one or two jerks in the world that don't have the patience for it, they're going to spin the dial and you'll never know that they were waiting. So just have fun, relax. You'll love it.
You're muted, Charlie.
What do you think for the group here? What do you think are some of the things that are discouraging or difficult to overcome in order to get out there for the first time? Or
Calling
maybe
sure.
CQ with CW was a scary thing.
what was it?
Calling CQ with CW.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
nerve-wracking.
scary.
Yeah.
What was your first activation? Were you using CW for your first activation?
For mine,
Yeah.
I was sideman up until last weekend.
Yeah. Cool.
But my first activation, I went with Malin and Riley, and they let me use Malin let me use his KX2,
Yeah.
and I made 10 contacts or something. It was fantastic, and then I was
Yeah.
hooked instantly.
Yeah. I like that answer. And I think that's the answer to the question posed here. One of them, anyway. I think that Dan and I both agree. We've both done this before. If you're interested in doing SOTA or POTA, I think the first step is to find somebody who's done it before and go along
Yep.
with them. Then you can't fail really unless they fail.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw it out right now. If anyone's ever up in Alberta, Canada, in southern Alberta, and you want to go try it, just look me up on QRZ. I'll take you out any day of the week if I can.
You know, one of the things that was kind of mentioned here a little bit is getting started. And the big thing is just take a weekend and just go out. For example, go out and camp somewhere and do chase. But remember that enjoy the adventure of actually getting to wherever you're going to operate from. You would be amazed at the little places that you'll drive through, and the life that happens there, and the history in some of these small towns and things like that that you'll drive through. So don't forget that, and take some pictures in that area, and some video or whatever, and kind of enjoy those places as well. So you'd be amazed that you drive through a little town and they got the best pie on the face of the planet. We have one of those places here in Arizona, and it's well worth stopping through. So you never know what you'll find, just even from that perspective.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
read.
real quick on the topic of getting started. Got to plug the PNW SOTA. I guess it's an unofficial club, but the community out here is really great, and there's a lot of resources that K7 ATN and others have put together as far as like good peaks to start on, and kind of a good primer on how to get started with SOTA. So if you're up in the Pacific Northwest, go check that out.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let me just read my 4 points that I think are important. You can agree with, disagree, or you throw in additional or expand however you want to do it. But so why for me should we share? And this is, I think this goes to this comment I had up here earlier. I tried to record yesterday, did it on the first take, and took a picture instead of a video.
Done that.
I've done that too.
Me too.
But I appreciate the fact that he tried and he was going to share with somebody. I think that there's 4 things that I came up with. I'm sure there's more, but one is, as I mentioned before, it gives a unique perspective, the environment, and a unique perspective on abilities. Tim does something that I would never do, or I don't think I would ever do without I definitely wouldn't do solo anyway, and that is grabbing an ice pick and some clamps on the bottom of his feet, whatever they're called. What are they called?
Crampons, and I'll take you
crampons.
up sometime, Charlie, if you're ever
All
up.
right. Seriously, I'd love it. But he has the ability to do that. I wouldn't. So perspective on ability, different abilities, but people can relate to that. So some people, they're mountaineers, and they would be drawn to Tim's channel. Other people, they like POTA, and Shane would have some great content for people who do POTA. People in Canada can relate to the sometimes they can't make out what the people in Canada are saying because of their accent. Well, Jesse's right up your alley. Just kidding, Jesse. Anyway, okay. It's not that bad. No. Number 2 is to promote the hobby and or service, and we mentioned that already. Number 3 is entertainment. People are out there looking for entertainment all the time, and I would argue a lot of my content is less about education, which is number 4, and more about entertainment. I do try to roll in some entertainment, some education in there, but really I'm going out there and I'm trying to provide some entertainment for people who cannot get out there, who won't be up on top of a peak, but yet want to kind of experience that or see that or just be a part of that. So that's one reason I share, is because I've received so many comments about people saying, hey, you know what, I love these videos because I'm homebound, I can't get out, and I just love to see this adventure. So that's number 3. And number 4 is education. There's that whole component of trying to teach people. It's kind of what we talked about before. We had that question about how to get started. Well, we could have videos on that, right? And there's anything that has to do with ham radio and getting people more involved is cool. So, thoughts on those?
Yeah, entertainment for sure. I try to keep a light, kind of lighthearted on mine, even when things are pretty rough and maybe I'm hating myself on the side of the mountain at the time. And to the comment of the person who took the photo when they tried to record video, as K7WXW, who is out with me this weekend, can attest, I record a lot of nonsense and probably 90% of it gets cut in the editing room. So just have at it and try recording and see what you like.
Yeah. Plasma Storm here says, I don't mind failing. I got out, played radio, and learned something. I also usually have fun. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and to what you were saying, Tim, just this last activation I did, I could kick myself for not recording. There's something that I did up on this hill, and I did not record it because I thought, oh, this isn't going to be interesting. But it would be a comedy of errors to no end that people would just laugh at. So what happened was I put up my I got all ready to hoist my antenna up, and there was kind of a branch in the way that was making it so my antenna wouldn't deploy straight. It kind of had to dip under, and so I thought, oh, I'll just take a branch or something and pull that down or push it out and break it off. I was 15 minutes trying to move that branch out of the way and falling down and branches falling off. It was just, I'm like, why wasn't my video recording in? You never know. I think people would have loved that.
I think that's a great comment, Charlie, and I like your list. But I think I'm thinking about something similar when I was out and my mask kept falling over and I have to put it up and the rocks kept slipping off. There wasn't much there, and if I had been recording this whole thing, I think people would have just laughed and laughed because I was getting frustrated. But later it would have been really funny, to see my putting up the wire and then the antenna wires getting stuck on a branch and then having to try it, 3 or 4 times, and it was just ridiculous. But I think it would have been funny too.
Yeah, for sure. I was able to catch the bee thing. I don't know if you guys saw that video about the bee that I had. Yeah.
Well worth a watch.
I was lucky to catch
Bee
that
dance.
one. The bee dance. Yeah, I'll never live that one down. If you haven't, I don't know what that one is even called now. It's so far gone, but cool. All right.
There's all kinds of those things that that happen like that to all of us. I mean, and we tend not to record those things because a lot of that happens during setup. Because I've had those things happen before too, and one that I'm famous for is that I'm trying to tune my antenna and start calling CQ. It's like, well, I can't hear anything, and all that stuff, and I'm like, what is wrong with my antenna? So I'm checking the antenna, going up and down the line, making sure that I've got the clips in the right places and everything else. And I'm just all frustrated, and I'm about ready to turn the radio off. And then finally I noticed that, well, yeah, it works a lot better if you actually hook the antenna to the radio first, that was really helpful.
My best moment was the summer for the Support Your Parks event. I was doing a twofer, and I'm going through a pileup, and then all of a sudden somebody came back and says, what's that park number? Because I typed it in and it says one's in Wisconsin and one's in Delaware. So then for half the pileup, I was given the wrong park number. So that was something that I could have left that out, but I thought it was pretty funny. So I put it in the video just to show that stupid things happen. You just move on.
Yep.
And another one for Dan is he's a trendsetter with the CQ Prone.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. We'll hope maybe we'll see more of that here in the future.
He has a unique way of operating. All right, well, let's move away from this for a minute. The why, and let's go to the how. And this is going to be a little bit more easy, but at the same time, let's give the viewers some idea of how they can what they can do to share their content, because obviously the purpose of this this roundtable, if you want to call it that, is to encourage others who aren't currently sharing content to do so. And so, how do people do that? I mean, the obvious answer is there's YouTube, and so we get out there with our cameras or whatever, and we record. But let's think outside the box. What are some ways that that we can share content? Give the viewers an idea.
First thing I'd mention real quick is I started off and have remained cheap. I didn't buy any special equipment. I used my phone and still use my phone today for the video recording. And I may have some comments about audio quality, or it doesn't, when the wind's up, which happens a lot on summits, that may affect the sound. But I kind of go easy and cheap. So I'm just taking my phone. I'm walking with my phone, and these days I do have a very small. This is a digital recorder. That's what I use for the audio when I'm actually on the radio. But other than that, I don't use really much equipment. I have a small little tripod that I use to prop up the camera. But other than that, it doesn't take much to record something and then just share it however you want, whether it's on the Facebook page, whether it's editing a video, whether it's just sending out an email to some friends, or letting your family know, hey, this is what I did. There's lots of ways to share what you've done.
Anybody else?
My first couple of videos. Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Jesse.
Okay, so my first couple of videos were literally just with my cell phone, recorded with the cell phone, and I can't remember. There's like a button you can hit, and it makes it into a video, and you can somewhat edit it a little bit, and then just straight upload to YouTube. It's really easy.
Mhm.
And then I got a GoPro, not a fancy GoPro either. It's one of the cheaper ones. But yeah, that's all I use to make my videos. And I borrowed this from Malin V6VID the other day, so I could actually have my CW recorded, because I wear headphones on summits because it's just too bloody windy.
Yeah. Introduce your cat, Jesse. Oh, he just left.
That's Tuco. Come here, bud.
While he's grabbing Tuco, here you go. Yeah.
He's a big old rag doll.
Big man. Yeah.
He's
Cool.
He's huge.
Is there anybody else who's started with cell phone? I mean,
yeah.
I have.
Yep,
I have.
I did.
I still use it a lot.
Yep. I think that's great advice. And actually, advice I just emailed that advice to somebody just this morning. They were asking about what to start with, and I said start with your cell phone, and then see how that works, and then if that works good, then maybe upgrade to a GoPro, and then if you still feel like the GoPro isn't enough, then there's plenty of people out there who have upgraded to photography equipment. SLRs and stuff like that. It just depends on your budget and what you're interested in. Some people are interested in photography, and so they want that great equipment. There's plenty of content creators in all of those realms. So where was this other comment I was going to say? So anything else on that topic on starting out with a cell phone?
I kind of had a thought, thinking outside the box. You mentioned, Charlie, you don't have to do video for everything, and like the Sodalaz website makes it really easy to upload photos of, say, the activation zone or the trailhead, and I think that's really a great way to easily give back to the SOTA community. And for the next activator that's looking to go up to whatever mountain you're on, it gives them, oh, hey, this is what the trailhead looks like. Oh, here's a hazard along the trail or the road, and then this is what I can expect up at the top of the mountain.
I always enjoy and I do enjoy the videos where content creators mix photos along with their video, or even some of the ones that are just a group of photos, because it's amazing what you'll see, and you don't have time to necessarily start a video and describe what's going on. Wildlife is a great example. You get a fleeting moment where, hey, you're going to be able to just catch that particular moment, and photos are a fantastic way to share where you are and what your hobby's all about.
Yeah, I try to roll a lot of B-roll footage or photos over like the activation video, because if I get one going for 10 minutes and I like to not edit the activation down, I like to have the whole QSO so people see the whole process and see that it isn't always just slick and fast. Sometimes there's a lot. Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? And since that's kind of boring to watch 10 minutes of, it's nice to put in that B-roll footage going across of the different views and the scenery and the wildlife and whatnot. So that's kind of my style, and it seems to work. But also, I try to point out, don't just focus to people who are already into ham radio or into soda. Share your photos and pictures on your normal social media stuff. Email them to friends, like Mike said. Put it on your Twitter or your Instagram or whatever. Get the people around you who aren't into ham radio. That's the people you should be really exposing it to. And especially if your friends are into hiking and backpacking and camping and stuff like that, they can go, oh, wow. Well, I'm sitting around the campfire. I can also talk to somebody in Spain or something. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, especially, and don't forget other avenues such as your ham radio club, or your local hiking club. Any of those organizations would be great. Even some of the civic clubs that are looking for folks that have interesting adventures and stuff like that for a particular meeting or something like that. So there's a lot of avenues that are not even YouTube concentric, for example.
I think Bill's comment is a great one. K7WXW, who mentioned writing a report, because as somebody who does a lot of never before done soda summits, I always make sure to go to the main soda site to write just a report for access for the trail. There's a lot of people who would love to try something, but without being able to scout and not knowing, it's kind of difficult. But if you have someone who's been there, had the experience, and tells about it, there you could also have a blog. You could do it in other places, but definitely on the main soda site, you can go and just add an article about your experience. And I think all of us know that when you look at Google Earth and you look at topo maps, which I do every time, and then you get there, it always looks different than what you think it is. And Google Maps doesn't show that gate or doesn't show how bad the road is and things like that. But your write-up can let people know, hey, this is what it's going to be like when you get there.
Yeah, I agree. You've hit on almost everything but one point that I was going to make in this discussion so far. So, number one on my list is YouTube and other social media, and I'm glad that you mentioned other social media, because some of the best things that I've enjoyed seeing, and just some of the best content that I've experienced has been Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, just showing the still photos and just writing a little kind of description. I enjoy reading that stuff and looking through those videos. It's fun and very enjoyable for me. Another thing, Mike, and I think one other guy mentioned here that there's the blogs. I'm not sure if you have visited Bob K0NR's blog, but his it's K0NR.com. There's also Sterling, N0SSC.com. He does a good blog, and also Rex, KE6MT.us. Those are some, just to mention a few of the blogs that are out there. People who, I think actually even K6ARK, not K6ARK, KR7RK, Keith, his is a little bit old, but I still like going and visiting it. There's all different variations of that, but really good to do the blogs. I think that's another way you can share. There's also, you mentioned the club newsletters, which is on my list, and along with that is presentations. Get out there and give a presentation on your portable operations experiences. I think people are interested. You could do that in a club or other places, like Dan said. And the last thing that hasn't been mentioned, what about Dennis? Hamdam Thoughts. That's the podcast venue, right? So
Yep.
you don't have to actually even use pictures or video or anything. You can use just the spoken word and create a podcast. It's really limitless. There's all kinds of things out there. It's limitless what you can do. So, any other thoughts on the how to?
In terms of video, just find a style that's works for you. Some people like to throw up their whole activation. Other people, like myself, try to edit it down. And the hardest thing is trying to decide how much of the QSOs and rag chew to leave in and what to cut in terms of time. So I don't know if anyone here has advice on what they do and how they approach that problem, but I'd be interested to hear that.
Yeah, mine, it all depends on the video. It's sometimes I don't get a whole lot of radio action, so it turns into basically a hiking video, or sometimes it's just the opposite. It just kind of goes with the flow. And my advice for everybody is just find your own style. Make the video that you want to watch, and don't worry about, you know, uh, trying to please the algorithm and what's going to be the most appealing. Be yourself. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see a cookie cutter of the same old, same old, same old. They want to see your angle of things. They want to see what you like. Or, I mean, that's my opinion, is what we should do, is just make sure you present what you want to present the way you want to present it. Make the video that you want to watch.
I think the
Yeah.
biggest thing is just get out there, turn your camera on, and have fun.
Mhm.
That's the best way to do it.
I agree. Yeah, so my approach is to have a topic in mind, an educational topic, loosely, but I don't really write it out or anything like that. I just kind of have it in mind. On my way there, I kind of think about what I want to say, and then when I get out there, I really don't know what's going to happen. And I would say 50% of my videos, the topic changed, spur of the moment, as I'm filming, because something
Mhm.
in the environment happened that I captured, and so I just shifted gears and was flexible and made that the topic of my video. So you just get out there, like Shane said, just get out there and start filming or start capturing or start recording and see what happens, and then just go with it, put it up there, see what people think of it, and as you do more and more, then you kind of refine and you listen to the viewers and you kind of hear, or the listeners or whatever, you kind of hear what they have to say. Don't just take it with a grain of salt, because like Shane said, it's what you want, and you should stick with your style. And I think that's kind of really the gist of it. I just think that there's a lot of people who are kind of shy to share, and I'm interested in a lot of people out there who haven't really shared anything. I'd love to see what they have as far as their experiences go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think anything that anyone who's new to putting anything out there, you do have to just recognize that you're on the internet, so you're going to get maybe some negativity once in a while, and you just have to roll with it and just accept it for what it is, but really just focus on the people that you've helped and inspired, and don't worry about anything that negative that comes up. But you will get it if you're just on the internet. It just happens.
Yeah, you haven't had any success on YouTube until somebody tells you that the angle was wrong, or the camera angle was off, or the sound was bad, or whatever. So you get that and just ignore it, or look at their videos of absolutely nothing and just see it's somebody whining. Just have fun.
Yeah, we have a saying in the Discord channel with all the other content creators. You know you've made it when the thumbs down guy comes.
Mm-hmm.
He's made his way to my channel.
Oh, good. All right. Well, so we're kind of nearly at the end here already. Can you believe it? We've got 10 minutes left. Let's wrap it up here. I just want to give everybody kind of another opportunity to talk, to promote their channel again if they want, and any other parting thoughts about the topic we've talked about. Anything that we haven't talked about that you wanted to mention that we just haven't really got to yet. So I'll just start with Tim this time, and we'll go around and just do one more round robin, and then we're going to end it. So go ahead, Tim.
I guess parting thoughts. In general, if you're looking to do SOTA or POTA, just get out there and do it. One of my most popular videos is my very first CW QSO, and I would say it's embarrassing, but honestly, it's a process and it's part of it. So get out there and do it. And I'm looking forward to winter coming, and I'll hopefully get some more ski videos on my channel in the coming months.
All right. Let's go to Shane.
Yeah, same thing. Get out there and have fun. That's all there is to it. Yep.
That's it. Okay. What's your channel again?
Scout75.
All right. So check out Scout75. Tim, what was yours?
It's Upsection N7KOM.
Yeah, and let me mention before we go to Jesse that the links to each of your channels is in the description of this stream. So for people looking for that, just go ahead and go there. All right, Jesse.
So my channel's Canadian Rockies Radio Adventure. pretty sure if you just put my call sign in the search bar, it should show up. Yeah, get out there and have fun. That's the big takeaway from all of it, is have a blast on your radio out in a park or on a mountaintop. It's a great deal of fun. And Tim, yeah, your first CW video was great. On the other side though, Charlie, Malin texted me and told me to tell you he says hi.
Okay,
And then,
good.
besides that, yeah, have fun with it, and hopefully I'll get some of you guys in my log eventually.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh, we got you, didn't we, Jesse?
We did, yeah.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
tried calling Tim the other day too, but I don't think I got out.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Any parting thoughts?
Yeah, so again, my channel is MKC0PR, and if you're just, if you're on that edge of pulling the trigger on CW, whether it's learning it or getting on the air for the first time and trying it, go for it. It'll be nerve-wracking and maybe funny, maybe I don't know what, but I think it'll be worth it. I remember my first contact, which wasn't a soda contact, but I like took 3 days off of radio. I'm like, okay, wow, that was just so amazing and nerve wracking. I just need a rest now for a little bit, but just go for it. I think you'll enjoy it. It'll be something that you'll do probably the rest of your life. And if you're thinking of sharing any content, please do. I think all of us look at other people's content and we just really enjoy it. And you don't have to, just like Shane said, just be yourself and share what you'd like to share and inspire others. And we'd all love to see whatever you put up there.
Yeah, totally agree. Dan?
Yeah, I agree with everybody. Make the content you want to make. It's your adventure. Share your adventure, and you'll get other people excited and interested in what you're up to, and hopefully inspire them to get out on the road and maybe try amateur radio or try something else that they enjoy and put that content up on the social medias.
Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah. Well, so we got just a few minutes left. I think in closing, the first thing I would like to say is the purpose of this stream is obviously to help others who may be on the edge of sharing content to actually get over that hump and do it. I think that there are some people out there who would like to share content, but they don't quite know how to do it. And so I would just say, if you need some guidance or some assistance, I don't know, can I volunteer you, Tim and Shane and Jesse and Mike, to if people wanted to reach out to you guys to get some advice on how to start out?
Yeah, 100%.
You bet.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, Dan too, right?
Sure, happy to.
Me too. Email me. I'd echo what everybody else has said. Step one is get out there and start doing it, playing radio. If you're already doing that, the next step is so easy. Just push the record button on your cell phone or snap the picture and see what happens. Seriously, just try it for the first time. You may hate it, but put it up there and see what people think. And then from there, I think you'll be able to kind of learn more and grow. And it's the same thing as with ham radio. The first time you got on the ham radio, I'm sure you were like really nervous and didn't quite know how to act. That's the same thing when you're doing the video, right, Tim?
Yeah. I mean, with the Morse code, I was shaking before and after my first one, but you get used to it and you'll find your voice if you're talking at the camera and narrating, however you do it. Yeah, you'll find what works for you.
Yep, I agree. And Jesse, you've had the same experience, right, with CW?
Yeah, my hands were still shaking this morning before I called CQ again from the first time. So yeah, the CW, like Mike said, it's amazing. And once you do it, you're hooked. I don't want to stop.
I remember my first time calling CQ on with CW, and it was exactly what you're describing. Same thing for the camera though too, right? The first time I did the camera, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I'm nervous, but it turned out all right. My first video was just a cell phone, and I just started recording myself, and it's just a bunch of QSOs, but people liked it. All right, so with that, I guess we're going to close it, guys. Thank you so much, Tim. I want to express appreciation to you for coming on. I love your channel. It is inspiring me to maybe do more mountaineering type stuff, and I actually might take you up on the offer. I've been traveling around, and I've done some stuff in California and in Georgia. I might just be up there and surprise you. So
yeah, thanks so much, Charlie. Been
Yeah, no
great
problem.
being here, and it means a lot because you're the one who got me into Summits on the Air. So thank
Cool.
you.
Cool, you bet. Shane, your channel also it's excellent. I don't think people know that you started YouTube before. You have a different channel, right? That you'd been YouTubing, and then this is kind of your second go at it, right?
Yeah, I had a channel that did backpacking, hiking type stuff that's been kind of dormant lately, but I'm going to be getting more into that as well too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So you're no slouch for sure on YouTube. I really enjoy your content, and
Thank
especially gives me a great perspective on what it's like out there in the Midwest and some of the
Mhm.
challenges of not having a lot of stuff like we do out here. So I
Yep.
appreciate it. Keep it up.
Oh.
Jesse, I mean, the Rocky Mountains, man. I mean, I love, I'm from Wyoming, right? So
Oh,
I
yeah, I
lived,
know.
I grew up near the Tetons. I just love the scenic stuff that you put out there. I mean, it's great. The whole content is great, but for me, watching your stuff, I like the best is just the scenery, man. I
Mhm.
really enjoy that part of your content. I'm sure other people like the other parts as well, but that's it for me. But great channel.
Well, thank you. And that was one of the big things with me doing the videos is showing, how beautiful it is in Alberta. And it goes out to everybody. Any of you guys come up to Alberta, send me an email or I'll give you my phone number and I'd gladly take you guys out any day of the week. And the
Cool.
other, if I can't, there's about 30 of us in the association, maybe a couple more that are always willing to take new people out or take guys that are just visiting out. So come on up. It's fun. Kick your butt, but it's fun.
Cool. Yeah. And then Mike, of course, I'm always trying to chase you. I don't get to very often, but for some darn reason. But I love your videos. The thing I like the most about your videos is the unique activations. It's just so fun to see how you plan it out and just kind of, hey, here's a new thing. I haven't been here. It's just kind of virgin territory. But also some of your other stuff, you kind of do a lot of different things, and it's in one video. You're like, oh, I created this QCX Mini, so you did a build, and I look at this new key I'm working with, and then you put all the CQ all the CW up. So great videos. As I mentioned, you are one of the two people that inspired me to start sharing content. So thank you for yours.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the comments, and I feel honored to be invited tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Cool. All right, guys. I'm going to say 73. Thank you so much for watching. Catch Ham Radio 2.0. He's right after this. Just look him up. He's got a stream right after this. And so with that, 73, everybody. Bye-bye.
73.
73.
Good night. Bye.
7:30.